Today, hi everybody. In today's video, we're going to be pulling my garlic in my raised bed, and we're going to pull out some of the onions that are ready to go. It's about that time to clear out the garden beds and start some summer crops, which I think I'm going to plant some corn in these this year, which will be super exciting since I've never done that. But today, we're sticking to garlic and onions. So I'm going to show you guys how you know when it is time to pull your garlic. And here in Texas, it's super easy to grow garlic, and it's something you put in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and you put it in that way, or you put it in between that time. And then in May, at the end of May, beginning of June, you pull it out, and it's the easiest crop to do, I think, personally. Okay, so here's my garlic bed. Here's my garlic bed, and let's get closer here towards the bottom. Now you can kind of see here that we have a few leaves down at the bottom that are dried up brown. You want at least 2 to 3 of these leaves to be brown and kind of dead off. That way you know it's ready to go. So another way you can tell is if you push the dirt away from the bulb. Look at that. That's our garlic right there. And usually you want it to kind of have a bulb shape, a shoulder here. Let's see if I can take this off. So if you push this away, you can kind of see that it goes straight and then it starts to round. So that's what we call a shoulder. So you want to get enough shoulder, and then you can kind of see how big it is. So now we're just going to pull it out of the ground. Oh, look, there's our garlic. Okay, here's our garlic. Here's our garlic that we just pulled out. It's a pretty big size. Look at that. That's awesome. I love doing this. It's like pulling root crops and pulling like potatoes a root crop, but pulling root crops has got to be one of the most satisfying things to do as a gardener. And these basically are no work. So what you're gonna do now is we're gonna pull them all out, kind of leave them out, and you're gonna want to put them in a dry, cool space, kind of a dark space. So I actually am gonna put them on my shelving system I have in the garage, and you're gonna let them dry out for about 2 weeks-ish, and then you can start cutting them off or braiding them or however you want to store them. So we're gonna pull these all out. I have a flat lay basket here, which it might be too small. So let's pull out all this garlic, okay? So excited.
We got time on our side. We're in a state of hope. I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything here, at least to stay alive, and the time that we share makes it all worthwhile. Got this place on our own. Do you feel that we got something strong? And I saw you walking the line, and the truth may come as a surprise that we.
Okay, here's our garlic harvest. And there's a lot. There's all these, and then all the ones in the basket I couldn't fit. I will say overall, just at first glance, just pulling them out, we got way bigger heads this year, which is awesome. And I just used garlic from last year, like I didn't buy any extra, I'm pretty sure. So that's exciting. I'll show you guys what we're gonna do with this next. But I'm gonna show you guys some onion. So as you can see, that one, not that one, I accidentally pulled that one out. But these have flopped over. Their tops are flopped. So you can kind of see these are still straight up. When these have flopped over, that means they're ready. And then if you pinch the neck here and it's soft, that means it's ready. So we're gonna pull some of these that have already flopped over. You're just gonna kind of like the same as the garlic. Look at that. That is a nice onion right there. So again, same thing. We're gonna put these in the garage, let them dry out for a week or two, and then we'll braid them. So there's one onion. Oh, so beautiful. First onion of the season. All right, I'm gonna pull the rest of these out.
You'll be the last one I think about. We got time on our side. We're in a state of hope. I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you.
So I think for this bed, I've pulled out all the ones that I want to pull. I'm going to give this bed another week. So next Saturday, I'll come in and pull the rest just to give them some more time to grow. Because not a lot of them, none of them are completely flopped. So we're going to give them one more week in here. And then same over here. These aren't as big as the other ones, but I think I put these in later. So we're just going to give these onions and the rest of this onion one more week. But let's look at the yield over here. Harvest. We got, these are the onions we have so far pulled out. It's a good chunk. And then the garlic, like I mentioned before. So next week, this bed will be clear and that half of the bed will be clear. And I think I'm going to put corn in this square. So we're going to do from this hoop all the way down, we're going to do corn in that bed. And then we're going to put my peppers, and I think that's going to be it. Peppers over there. So that's it as far as that. I'm going to show you guys how I put them in my shelves, and then we'll pull the rest of these out next week, and then I'll show you how I braid my onions and garlic. So I'm super excited. I'll see you guys in the garage. Okay, we're in the garage and we have a literal wheelbarrow full of onion and garlic. I pulled all the onion and garlic out of the garden today because I looked in the other beds and there was some aphids and stuff and I just did not want to risk it. So I went ahead and pulled everything. So it's probably a little too early for some of these onions, but I'd rather have small onions than not enough, right? John?
That's correct. Can you see me? Anyway, and then you're really like underselling how many bugs were in there.
Millions.
Millions.
Millions of
Like,
green aphids.
The ground was moving.
Yeah.
It was terrible, so
Yeah.
kind of have to cut your losses sometimes.
Yeah. So it's either have smaller onions or no onions at all. But still, we got a ton of garlic and onions. And
Like 80% of them were ready to be picked anyways.
yeah.
So
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
cool. That's not bad.
For sure. And I pulled some earlier this week, so we have some drying, so you can kind of see where we're going to go here. But basically what we're going to do is pull them out. Here, let me show you. Okay, so basically what you're going to do, this is an onion. So let's just take this. See, it's a little bit smaller than I would really like, but that's okay. We can still use it. So you're going to, when you pull them out of the ground, you want to shake off as much dirt as you can, obviously. But what you don't want to do is rinse them off. No. Do not rinse your garlic or onion off. Just shake it off as much as you can, and then when you start to hang them dry, you can just kind of go like this, get as much as you can, and you're gonna leave it fully intact, okay? And you're gonna hang it somewhere, either that's on a shelf, or if you have a rack, you could do it that way, and then you're just going to put it on there, and that's it. You don't wanna cut anything. I guess, yeah, no, I'm gonna say you're not gonna cut anything. So you don't wanna cut the roots quite yet, and you don't want to cut the green off yet. Just keep it as is. Just rub off as much dirt as you can and then lay them flat, and that's it until about a week or two. And then in a week or two, that's when you can get your pruners out, cut off the green, cut off the roots if you want, or you can braid them. That's when we can really tidy things up. You're just putting these out in a place to dry so they will seal up. Your onions will seal up and they won't mold that way. So you really want to make sure you give your garlic and onion enough time from the garden to the drying rack, okay? So I usually do 2 weeks, a week and a half, just to make sure that everything is really dried out, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna process all of these, put them in my shelf. Here we go.
saw you walking the line, and the truth may come as a surprise. Now with you I feel alive. You will be the last one.
When you start processing your garlic, I'm talking to John too. So the cool thing about when you grow a garlic, usually you can just buy a bulb of garlic, and then in that have all the cloves, right? So each clove is its own garlic plant. So what you do is in 2 weeks when we process this stuff, you take your best garlic, whatever, how many bulbs you want, and save that for the winter, for December, and then you just start reusing your garlic. And that's what we did. Half of this stuff is from last year's garlic harvest. You just save a bulb or two, and there you go. You have your garlic seed for next
Beautiful.
fall. Isn't that cool?
Generations and generations.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
awesome. I love it. It's an easy way to store all your harvest and it not take up
Anything,
much
really.
room. Yeah, you just really hang it. You're just gonna hang up your braid, and there you go.
Plus it keeps the vampires away.
Right. Of course. Can't forget about those guys.
Think about when it all breaks down. I'll wait for you right here, and I swear that we got nothing to fear. It's a miracle that you and I are finally here. I saw you walking the light.
Okay, here we go. We have 3 shelves of onion and garlic. And I'm gonna move my fan over here so it can get some good airflow going, and we'll check back on this in 2 weeks. Okay, so this is the last phase we're gonna do for this garlic onion video, and I wanna show you how I braid my onions and garlic. We have a small tray of dried onions. Stop it. We have a small tray of some onions that are ready to go. They've been ready to be braided and processed. So they've been out for about almost 2 weeks, a week and a half. And this is what they should look like. Completely brown leaves, papery husk right here like you get at the store. And there should be no moisture or anything like that. Give it a good squeeze here at the base. So what we're gonna do is we're going to come in here, we're going to cut these roots off to about here as much as we can. And then I'll show you guys how we get started braiding. So here we go, we're gonna do this process first. I'm just gonna show you one. So you're just gonna take these roots, try not to cut completely flush. You're gonna wanna leave it kind of like that, just a little nub. And then let's get 3 big ones. So this one's a good one. And these have been just drying out on my seed shelf in the garage, so they've been good to go. That's the good thing about summertime is you can, because sometimes you're not really starting a lot of seeds in the garage. You're either doing it out in your greenhouse or out in your garden. So you can just use that so you can just use that seed shelf as a drying rack, which is awesome. Okay, push these to the side a little bit. All right, so we have our onions. We have some scissors. We have some twine, whatever string you have laying around is totally fine. And then this is an optional thing. I had to have some sort of hook, and I'll show you why when we're done. So let me bring you closer so you can see a better look. Okay, so we have our 3 onions here, and I tied them tight right here at the base. So it's kind of like a French braid. You have 3 strands here, okay? Left, middle, and right. I'm trying to fix up my mess here. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna get from your pile, try to find, you wanna start with the biggest ones first. So this one's probably the next one. The next thing you wanna do is make sure that the stalk isn't completely flimsable. So when you start to braid it, that it won't just completely disintegrate, okay? So we're gonna choose this one first, and we're gonna start in the middle. Then you're gonna take it and take the left one over. So now the one that you just added is to the left. It's just like French braiding. You're gonna get the next one, And we're gonna take our next onion, put it over here. Okay, same thing, cross over. Okay. You don't want it to be super, super tight, but you also want to make sure that you have enough grip in it, okay? Let's see, let's use this one. Put her in the middle. And we're going to cross over to the left. And you're just going to keep doing this until you run out of onions or you want to stop. Okay, I think I want to stop here. This is a good size braid so far. Move to the side. Then you can either get a rubber band or get more of the string. We're going to try to get all the little stalks. Okay, and then I like to take my little hook. Now you don't have to have this. I just do it because I have these things. It's a little bit easier. And boom, there you go. So this little spot's right, here's my kitchen table. So we're just going to put some here. Oh, the hold. How cool is that? That is so awesome. So we're gonna do 3 more on each of these hooks. And here we go. Look at all this mess. Which is totally okay, right? This is totally okay. So if you have a space where you can do this outside or in a greenhouse, I would recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it doing in your kitchen. But it's raining outside and I really wanted to get some of these braids done. And this was only like an 1/8 of my onion harvest is outside. You're probably thinking, Rebecca, what are you gonna do with all this dried up stuff? This is great compost material. If you don't have a compost, you need to start one today. What are you waiting for? And it's super simple. You don't need a fancy machine. You don't need a special bin or pallet boards or anything like that. Literally just find a corner in your backyard, or if you have an old tub or an old trash can or something like that, drill some holes in the bottom, make it a compost. It's so simple and it's so rewarding to use that material in your garden. What do you do with onions that their stalks weren't long enough? Well, you just cut them off. I leave a little bit of nub there just for a case. And you put them in. We have this basket that we put our extra potatoes and onions in, and we leave it in our pantry. So you can just take these onions, put them in here, and store them in there. That's one great way to do it. So, and then what do you do with these tiny, tiny onions that didn't get very, here, let me show you this tiny one. It's so, look at this one. What do you do with these? Look at this. You can pickle them. You can put them in stews. You can freeze them. We can use them just like regular onions, whatever you want to do. I think last year what we did with all the small ones is we preserved them. So let me see if I can find a jar. So here's a little jar. I don't know if you can see it. It's probably really gross, but we made these in August last year. But we put all the small onions, found a recipe online, and there you go. You can use them like that. So I hope this was helpful to somebody. I hope you learned a little bit of something about onions and garlic. I highly recommend that you grow your own, even if it's just one little bed. Grow your own onions, grow your own garlic. It's so easy and so satisfying. So let me know if you're interested, what other questions you have about growing, curing, storing onion and garlic. Let me know down below. I'll get in there and talk to you guys later. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video to the very end. It means so much. Our new goal for my birthday is to get to 200 subscribers. As of today, I have 129. So I need, what is that? 160 something? I'm not good at the maths at all. So when we get to 200 subscribers, I'm gonna give some sort of giveaway. So if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to this channel and give us a thumbs up if you wanna see more garden content. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for stopping by.